Hello, sim racers! Welcome to tonight's episode where we will try, at least, to do a circuit walk at Snetterton. And I'm saying trying because Steam permitting, we might be able or might not, because right now what is happening here is that Steam is updating, I think. No, wait, where are we? I don't even have an idea. Anyway, Steam is updating, and it's going very, very slowly. So it gives me 20 minutes for just half a gigabyte of data. It's okay. Now it's speeding up 4 minutes something. So, all right. So until we wait, let's go back and have a chat. So how are you guys doing? Well, actually, we have some amazing news because the channel is about to cross the 25,000 users, subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. You are amazing. Who's amazing? You are amazing. Really, I mean, it's incredible. 25,000, and you keep on, clicking on the subscribe button, and you keep on getting on board to this channel, which is very, very nice and very satisfying, I have to say. But most importantly, I hope you all guys are having fun and you are learning something from this channel. And certainly, I do have fun being with you. And I'm really very happy to joining you every Friday night or on other occasions and having a go with you guys on the chat and so on. And another pretty incredible data that I can share with you is that the Discord channel, actually let me control this in real life, because let me check this. We are like we're like 10 users shy from crossing 4,000 total users in the Discord channel. So again, another great achievement. What can I say? Again, the most important part is that the channel, the server, the Discord server is amazing. You guys are keeping it extremely polite, extremely educated. Yes, there's a lot of spam and memes going on, but this is amazing because at any time of the day you can I personally can jump in and have a laugh, and that is so great. Lots of information, again, it's getting shared with all the users. We have our amazing Mount Spamorama, and if you join the server, you're gonna find out what that is. And Andy says stonks to the moon. Yes, we like the stock, and we go on. So 1 minute, 2 minutes remaining. So have to be a little bit patient, and finally, Steam will let us have a go and do our Snetterton track circuit walk. So, with the Schneiderton circuit walk, we actually ending our BritishGT tour. We did with tonight. We will conclude all the circuit walks for the new DLC. And what can I say? I think those circuits are amazing. You guys voted for Snetterton to be the last one. It is graphically speaking, it's the less inspiring, let's say, less impressive, because it's very flat. There's just nothing less than farms all around. It's all flat. But driving, I've listening to many users, to many sim racers. It was a surprise to many of you, and to me personally. I thought that it was going to be, pretty average track, no big deal. But the more you learn and the more you push to get into some certain, lap time level, and the more interesting it becomes. It's also good for racing, incredibly enough. The main problem is it's very technical, as all the British circuits. And the main issue, I think, it's the curbs. The curbs are, with the GT3 cars, you touch often, with the car on the curbs, and that's pretty harsh to the car, to the driving style. So you need to be very careful of that. And you also lose a lot of pressure because what you avoid doing with the GT3 cars, with the GT4 cars, you just jump, everywhere. And unfortunately, that provokes big pressure losses. And while you can do it for a couple of laps, then you need to be very careful. All right, so it seems that Steam finally has grants us access to the latest Assetto Corsa Competizione version. As you might understood, I'm working all day on the editor, and I hadn't updated the Steam version to the public version, so here we are now. Okay, it's still loading. And yes, Vortex says you're going to talk 20 minutes about the giant tree at T2 of Snetterton, the scary tree. Yes, of course. All right, so let me check. We should be here like this. So let's see if everything works correctly, and if you guys can see the game. And also, if you can see the mouse. Yes, okay, cool. All right, so practice, Snetterton. I just picked up the first Mercedes I could find, and let's go in. So, guys, all good? Haha, killer! So here we are. Out in the Snetterton circuit. So let's go and get the aggressive setup, get back, and actually, let me see. NC was saying that it has a little bit of an erotic form, as we can say, but it's 10 o'clock in the night, so we can say whatever we want. So let's go in, and let's do our circuit work. Let me first do a lap so that we can start again from the start-finish line. Such a technical and difficult track. And here we have the scary tree. Here it is, guys. Now, as we said also in other occasions, unfortunately the scary tree is no more. A big thunderstorm just, pulled down the arms of the scary tree in 2020. But we are doing the 2029. We did the 2029 season, and luckily enough, the scary tree was still there, and now we have it for eternity inside Assetto Corsa Competizione. You cannot see me. Well, we can fix that. No big deal. Now this should be correct. No worries. And here we go. Long back straight. Yeah, I'm back. Yay! And one of the most wonderful braking points of all the tracks I know. I really like that turn. I mean, yeah, it's not that big of an issue, this braking zone, but I just like it. I really love it. This one is also interesting, but a little bit more frustrating. The other one, I just like it. Anyway, so here we are. This is the start finish straight line. Okay, and we can start our circuit walk, Snetterton circuit walk from BritishGT DLC. Right, so start finish straight line. Let's go. You slowly and gradually move to the left hand of the road, and we instantly start with one of the most characteristics and most characteristic things of this circuit. The problem here is that it's very, very difficult to find reference points. It's really extremely difficult. We're gonna, try to find some reference points, but I tell you already, it's not gonna be easy. You will have to train your eyes to find the smallest reference points, and it is one of the difficulties of this circuit. So you arrive at this corner like in full speed, 5th gear. And this first corner is a double apex corner. It's faster than it looks, but you really need to nail it, because otherwise it's very easy to go a little bit wide and end up outside of the road. So the initial reference point to start when you're learning the car, to start braking, is obviously, as usual, the orange end of the guardrail, both at the right and at the left and right, maybe. And it is very soon. You will instantly, already at the second lap, you will learn that you will need to start braking way after this orange reference point here. But at least, it's your first reference point. You get an idea. Now, as I said, normally you need to go farther and farther ahead. Okay, and what I get as a reference point is, unfortunately, you go through the billboards here. Those probably won't even be there. It's really very difficult to find a reference point. My reference point is the crane over here. When I get close to the crane, depending on the car, you don't have to go away from the crane, so you have to brake a little bit sooner, okay? But when you are close, somewhere around here, and again, it depends on the car that you're driving, but somewhere around here is my reference point to, start braking. The better you get, the better your car is set up. You will brake a little bit later, but again, I'd hardly advise you to go over the crane or even close to it, okay? Just a little bit before that. And you need to go down to 3rd gear usually. You need to get into a very, very early apex right on here. Don't cut into the grass, but stay, just, touch the curb on the right hand inside place over here. Just touch it, and again, you will slide outside towards the left. But don't overdo it. Don't let the car go too much on the left, on the external placement of the road. Ideally, you want to just pinch the brakes a little bit, or even release and go into coast and rotate the car while you are still drifting away from the inside of the road. And once you are again having the car rotated to go towards the second apex of this double turn, this is where you can start accelerating. Don't overdo it, depending on the car. I mean, even with the most easily to rotate cars, it's very easy to raise your front end and go wide in understeer, okay? So you either have a car that still in 3rd gear, in high revs, can rotate with power, or you just go a little bit more gradually on the accelerator. You wait a little bit, maybe to come into this second apex, okay, and then start to accelerate. Okay, so you just touch again once and you start to accelerate right here, right before the end of the inside curb. Now, if you have done everything correctly, the car should rotate. You will keep on sliding towards the outside. Don't overdo it with steering input, because you're going to end up in a lot of understeer. And hopefully you will end up on the curb and maybe a little bit on the green. It is a very nasty curb here, but if you end on the green, you still have the possibility to not touch the ground here. Just make sure to get back into the asphalt as soon as possible. I would not recommend it. Sometimes you cannot avoid it. I would not recommend it when you go over that curb. You see already the car how it was jumping about. You are going to engage the traction control and you're losing acceleration. So just, touch a little bit the curb and just try to stay it and to avoid it. Do not go way over the curb like that. All right, so moving on. exit the turn, full acceleration. Luckily, we have a 180 degrees hairpin here. It's no, it's not the slowest turn of the circuit, but almost the slowest turn of the circuit. But it sure is the most slow hairpin on the circuit. And luckily, we have an excellent reference point for braking, and it is this time the orange end of the guardrail here. So the pocket of the guardrail, just on the orange when it arrives at the edge of your screen, or even if you have just went over it, depending again on the car and the speed you have. Hard on the brakes, very, very hard on the brakes, and try to brake as straight as possible. Do not go towards the turn. Straight as possible, hard braking, downshifting with rhythm, as we have always said. So bum, bum, bum. Do not, downshift like crazy. And just, watch the scary tree, waving you around, and go straight. Now, as you arrive over here, and again, you have the end of the guardrail with the orange task over here. This is where you want to start to, turn in, okay? While you turn in and you arrive at the start of the inner curb, this is the time that if you have done everything correctly, even if you feel some understeer, release the brakes, okay? Let the front tires get all the lateral grip they can, and you will see that there is enough camber, enough rubber on the road, and enough grip to keep you inside and have you make the turn. Now, don't go on, it's very easy, because if you actually release the brakes, okay, it's very easy to see that the car rotates, and it's very easy to say, okay, I'm over here, I can start, I'm on the apex, I can start accelerating. Don't do that yet. There is still a lot of turn to do, and if you do it, you're gonna end up either too wide in understeer, if you're afraid to step on the accelerator, or if you are not afraid to step on the accelerator, you're gonna have a lot of oversteer, and that will also make your exit slower. So go in slightly on the accelerator or even coasting, stay here close, and wait for the end of the sausage, okay, more or less. And at the end of the sausage, start the gradual acceleration. Don't overdo it. Gradual acceleration, and accompany the car outside. Now, ideally what you want to do is to take advantage of this asphalt over here and take the car wide, like this, okay, and place the curb underneath the middle of the car, and your tires on this part outside of the curb, okay? You don't want your tires to end up, your outside tires to end up on this curb, because it's gonna be, again, very bumpy. Those curbs, let me show you, they are steps, and they are very, very nasty. You can see that. Yeah, it's not good to have your tires over here. It's gonna bounce, and the traction control will, go in and start. You can see how it goes up here, you see? It's really very, very nasty. So, what you want to do is, as I said, place the car here, alright? So that you get your outside tires over here, the curb goes just underneath the car, and the inside tires have to stay once more before the white line, because also at Snetterton we have the same limits. The track limits are on the white line, not at the curb as everywhere else, but on the white line. Snetterton and Ulton Park, track limits, white line. So this is where you have to stay here, and you can see that over here you can really accelerate very fast and without big issues. And once the curb is done, just bring the car back in again. Okay, once again, do this as usual only when you have enough pressure on the tires, because otherwise you're going to lose pressure. All right, so end of the hairpin, we go outside and we go right away to the right side of the road. Okay, now we arrive into a particular turn. You can brake very late. There is, again, this very discolored patch of grass over here. You can see it. Don't start. You can start braking here, but only for the first laps. The better you get, the more you see that the second discolored patch of the grass is your reference point. So you really can delay the braking here, arrive over this one. Okay, you see it's a double discolored patch. Let me show you also from ahead. This is one. Okay, so once you are arrived very closely with your visual into this discolored patch, you need to start braking very hard. This is a turn that you can do depending on the car, both in third or in second gear. I would also advise you to do the following. So downshift down to third gear, start coming inside. You can see there is flat outside surface on the road and camber towards the inner part of the road. So you need to stay closer. Okay, you won't have big problems to keep on braking and arriving up to the start of the inside camber. Okay, so you won't have big understeer problems, but after the start of the camber, you might start to experience understeer problems. Okay, now at that point, again, once more, I remind you, release the brakes. If you see that even by releasing the brakes, the car still, having some understeer, downshift down to second gear. Okay, so you're arriving third gear. If it stays, on the apex close and you don't have big problems of understeer, stay in second gear, low revs, no big deal. If you're having understeer problems even by releasing the brakes, downshift down to second gear. The downshifting will bring the revs up on the engine. Higher revs will generate more engine brake, and that, because obviously it's gonna happen only on the rear tires, will help you to rotate the car. So rotate the car in second gear, stay again close to the apex, okay, and wait, don't go into acceleration very soon here. You're gonna end up very wide, and I will show you why you don't want that to happen. So wait. Once you start seeing the end of the curb over here, this is where you want to go gradually on the accelerator. Once more, don't overdo it. Make sure that you are not going wide before the end of the curb. So make sure that while you are accelerating, if the curb is still here, the inner curb, you still need to stay close. If you're going wide, this means that you're gonna slide even more and you're gonna end up very wide at the exit, and you don't want this to happen, and I'll show you why. So go over here, acceleration now, hard acceleration, and it goes uphill. You're gonna have some understeer, and it might, you might not have been able to avoid it, but I would advise you to avoid as much as you can to not go over here. Because once again, we have a very nasty curb, okay? And depending on the car, you see already how low the car is and how high those steps are, all right? So because you are arriving here with a lot of speed, okay, and the car rolls and so on, you're gonna touch the ground, you're gonna touch the curb, and it's gonna upset the car a lot. The whole car will jump around. It's really bad. It's really nasty. You don't want that to happen ideally. So my advice is, yes, slide the car towards the outside, but remain, just go and touch a little bit the curb like this. I mean, we are just touching the curb, and you can still see, oh my God, this is really nasty. You see how it goes up and down. It's really bad. So try to not go completely outside. All right? Okay. Acceleration and out of this turn. Third, fourth gear. Now we are approaching one of the most difficult turns, frustrating turns. It's not that difficult, but it is frustrating because it's very, very easy to end up wide at the apex here, to miss the braking point and end up wide. So once again, we don't have any reference point over here, so we will try to find out the grass patches and get a reference point from there. I remind you once more, yes, it's not like that the grass patches, the discolored grass or the missing grass is something that we got from the laser scan here. But I remind you, it is absolutely true that if the drivers cannot find a reference point and they cannot paint, because on some circuits you can't go on the circuit and paint over the asphalt, little lines like that. So if they cannot find anything like that, they will go on the grass with the team or alone, and they will kick the grass and take it off and leave some marks for the reference point. This is, a universal technique that pretty much everybody knows and does. So they are not placed there just because we just wanted to put them. Okay. All right. So once again, discolored parts over here of the grass, this is your reference point. It also becomes a little bit more dark after that, so either on this color or a little bit later. Again, I advise you to not take as a reference point the start of the rubber. It might help you to find out where you are, but if it rains, if it's dark, if it's night, you won't see it. So don't get the start of the tire marks on the road. Stay and get as reference point the grass over here. You will be able to see it in pretty much all the conditions, except if it's dark and your headlights are broken. So, all right. So this is where you want to start to your braking zone. This is one of the most important turns to not miss your braking reference point. Do not try to brake later. It's gonna be terrible. It's one of the worst turns to miss the braking reference point, even by a meter. You just say, oh yes, I wanna try a little bit more extra hard, and brake a meter later, you're gonna end up wide. I don't know what is going on with this turn. It is terrible. So what you really want to do here is brake sooner if possible, approach the apex of the turn properly, get a better exit. That is what is going to make your lap time. If you try to brake later and end up just a slightly bit wide on this turn, it's the end of it. You're either gonna lose a ton of time, or worst case scenario, you're gonna end up on the grass, which is extremely slippery, and you're gonna lose a lot of time or if you might even have an accident going straight into the wall. So again, brake straight, start. You see there is a lot of camber. Start going towards the turn a little bit, don't overdo it, okay? And you really want to arrive right over here on the inner apex, okay? Downshift in second gear, sometimes even first gear, depending on the car. For example, the Ferrari 488 has a particularly long first gear, so downshift down to first gear, and release the brakes once more. So release the brakes, stay here. You're gonna need some extra turning if needed. Again, don't go wide. If you end up wide here, just terrible idea. So first gear, again, a lot of patience. Don't go on the accelerator. Wait. End of the curb, this is where you want to start accelerating. Okay, end of the curb, start accelerating once more. You wanna end up close to the curb, maybe touch the curb. Don't go wide. Again, you're gonna touch with the under tray of your car. The whole car is going to get unbalanced and jump around. You just don't want to go outside of the curb. Okay, so just touch the curb over here and go. Now, remember, that's for GT3 cars. GT4 cars have much more height clearance, ground clearance, sorry. So you can't go over the curbs. But remember, with the GT4 cars, because you are abusing the curbs that much and you go outside and in again and outside and in again, it's also very easy to lose a lot of tire pressure. And if you lose a lot of tire pressure, the more you lose, the more vicious cycle begins, and you lose even more, and after a while you're into big trouble. All right, so let's go. Now the next turn is tricky. It's technical. It's fast. Okay, it's faster than it looks, but you really need to nail it. So what can we do? It's a third gear turn. If you nail the entrance and you don't overdo it, then the exit is really fast. So we approach the turn. We don't brake. You can see there is a lot of sand, okay, at the outside of the road over here. You can see the sand over here. You see, there is no grass. It's just like this, okay, and it ends the whole part. It's like a curb that has taken off, okay. So we have no grass over here, and it ends exactly right here. So what we want to do is to approach and get closer and closer and closer just before the end. Now the best of us, you know, they will start braking at the end of this terrain, but just before the end, my advice is just before the end, brake, downshift in third gear, release, okay, so braking here, downshift third gear, release, and just you know, pinch a little bit the brakes, just a tiny bit, as you are approaching the inner apex over here. Once you are right on the inner curb here on the apex, release the brakes, let the car rotate, and go gradually on the accelerator. The whole movement has to be fast as usual, so I'm not telling you to go, you know, in slow motion like brakes, okay, release the brakes, rotate, go on the accelerator. No, it has to be fast, so it has to happen like this, but don't do it like that, okay. You don't have to be extremely violent, because if you do it, then the car, you know, you are in third gear, high revs, the car will just raise the nose and go straight forward. So you need to be gradual. So release and go. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. Why? Again, as I told you, if you go like PAM, instant, then you're gonna have big issues of understeer mainly. So if you have done everything correctly, the car should rotate and you should exit on this turn in a sliding small drift, let's say, with a pretty high exit speed. You can see again how this outside curb is really nasty. Okay, what can I cannot tell you much. Try to avoid it. Otherwise, put it in the underneath of your middle of the car. But you know, it's hard. Okay. Now, right as you exit, you really need to keep turning and go straight away to the left side of the road. Okay. So left side of the road, and we have this grass patch over here again. Go over it, overtake it, and then start to brake. Now you can see that you know, the braking marks and tire marks here start way after. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. Start braking sooner. Why is that? It's true that you can brake really late here, okay, and not have big issues, but that won't make you fast into the following turn. Why is that? Because in theory, you could start braking over here, and then, okay, you will arrive over here, and you won't be able to cut a lot, but you will be able to make the turn pretty much like this. Perfect, right? This is what you need to do. No, if you really want to make this turn faster, okay, you have to brake sooner, a little bit, just as I told you. The sooner braking will permit you to start entering the turn sooner again, because the speed will be slower, okay, so you won't have that much understeer. And as you are entering the turn with a little bit of understeer, release the brakes and point the car. You will see that you have enough lateral force. Point the car to go on the apex over the curb and inside the turn like this. All right, so this is where you want to be with the car. Okay, this is the perfect place. It has enough grip on the outside tires, and it will permit your line on this turn to be wide enough in order to bring enough speed into the turn. If you do it outside, the line will be narrower and the radius will be smaller, and you won't bring enough speed into the turn. Okay, so this kind of line here will bring more speed inside the turn. You can do it even with the GT3 cars, much more easier with the GT4 cars that they are. Again, they have much higher ground clearance, but you shouldn't have problems to do it also with the GT3 cars. Just remember, before entering and positioning your car over the curb in the middle, release the brakes and go slowly on the accelerator so that the car, you know, goes out off the pitch and has enough ground clearance to get the curb underneath. Okay, now this is in second gear, and what follows is one of the most satisfying exits in any circuit I know, because if you have done everything correctly, you will end up into this very long and unwinding exit of the turn, and you can really go inside with second gear, just a tiny bit of, you know, traction control that just keeps the car correct, and a very nice drift, you know, towards the exit, which practically you could almost make the whole turn with your steering wheel almost straight. You know, you just, I mean, you should turn like this. Instead, you will find yourself in giving that kind of steering input. Now, it's satisfying. It's really cool, but it's also slow. So ideally, yes, you can do that, but you really shouldn't do that, you know. You should, you know, move your steering wheel and let your rear tires gain traction, you know. So once you feel that you are sliding too much, don't stay there. Give them some, you know, feedback with the steering wheel in order to get some traction back to the tires, and so that they can move forward. It's very easy to not do that, to just stay here and say, oh, I'm drifting Dorifto time, you know, tofu delivery, and everybody's happy. But in reality, you are losing meters, you're losing accelerator. So, outside we go. 10 points for Dorifto over here. And now this is a very important turn, because the exit of the turn brings you to the very, very long back straight. Once again, I don't know what's happening with the British tracks, but it seems that all the British tracks have their longest straight far away from the pits and into the back straight. So this turn over here, it's a very long sweep. It's a medium average speed turn, and as I said, it gets out to a very long straight. That means that you absolutely have to sacrifice the entry speed possibly and make everything you can in order to get the best possible exit. So how you could do this? My suggestion is try to slow down enough in order to enter a little bit wide. Just don't go directly on the curb over here. This is not your apex. Your apex is a little bit later. Practically is where those this tire, how you want to call it, I don't know, those tires over here. But those tires are collidable objects, and it's very possible that, you know, just after a couple of laps they would just disappear. But this is where your apex is, so it is almost at the end, just before the end of the inner curve. And ideally you want to stay a little bit on the outside, not too much, don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, you're gonna slide. Just a little bit. I'm already too much here. I should have been somewhere like this, okay? But still with some space to go inside. You see, I have some space to go inside, and then just before arriving on the apex, and you can see that it almost goes, the radius of of the turn is getting smaller. Okay, so just at the end you want to rotate the car more, okay, and you want to be able to arrive here before the end of the curve and before that orange guardrail here. You want to be already on the accelerator, rotating the car on the accelerator, okay, rotating the car on the accelerator, and you want to do that perfectly. You don't want to be in a position that the car, you know, understeer. You find yourself like this here, which means that you have to raise your foot from the accelerator. If you raise your foot from the accelerator before the end of the turn, that means that you have, you know, fucked up and you haven't done the proper line. So what you need to do here is having the car rotated like this, okay? It slides a little bit with the rear end, you know, drifting just a little bit, hard on the accelerator, third gear, and of course you're gonna slide way on the outside, okay? Now, sometimes you're gonna end up also on the green parts over here. It's not that big deal, it's not that big problem here. Just be, you know, aware that if you go inside again, you might lose some pressure on the tires. So, if you have done everything correctly, okay, you should get at the exit full throttle, never lift the throttle from the apex to the exit, and you are right on the very long back straight. Now this is a quite long back straight. That is quite long to, you know, go up to full fifth gear limiter, maybe sixth, depending on the car. And there is a possibility to get slipstream. There is possibility to overtake here. So you really need to nail the exit of this turn. Last thing before we take a break, because we are the middle of the track. It's very easy to get into this back straight and instantly position the car, you know, like this. And you don't want to do this because it's full of marbles, rubber marbles over here, and your tires are going to, you know, pick them up, and you're going to have vibrations and less grip and so on and so on. So you don't want to get them. So, and also, it means that you're going to do more distance, you know, because you're going first like this and then straight. What you really want to do is you really want to look far away into the bridge, far away, and point there like this, and gradually, very, very gradually start doing, you know, and going to the right side of the road. But you really have to do it very gradually. It's very easy to go before that, but you have to do it gradually. This will permit your tires to stay clean from the marbles, and most importantly, to also make less distance than, you know, first going to the side and then straight. Okay, so we are the back straight, we are the middle of the circuit, so let's take a break and have a look at the chat and see how you guys are doing, and if you are getting interesting things. So how are you doing? Ciao Stefano, ciao Brian. Why is the AMG slow in BritishGT DLC? It's not. I don't think it's slow. I'm very good, thank you, Elopo. What is going on? What is going on the chat? Watching some guy on YouTube, he talks a lot. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Spamorama, how you doing, guys? Oh my God, we have... what is going on here? Yeah, whatever. Someone here is... Anyway, I'm gonna have a look at that later. I'm not in the mood to see this guy right now, but today we already had our very risky situation for the first ever ban into the Discord channel. I don't know if that's bad material. I'll have to watch it later. But let me tell you guys, this Discord channel is for us, is for having fun, is for having, you know, having a good time. So by all means, I have no interest. I mean, if we are so many, it's great, it's amazing. But the number one priority is feeling good between us. And I don't care if they call us, you know, fun boys. I don't care if they call us whatever. We are there to have fun. And in order, that has always been my you know, mentality. In order to have fun, we need to make sure that the people that stay in there have the same mentality with us. It's a friendship, you know. It's a club of people with same mentality, same things that they love, and so on. And so honestly, I respect the opinion of everybody. They can even hate the game or whatever, or hate the opinion or not, or I don't care. But that is not the place for them. So if we get people that, you know, just want to fight and troll and flame, and goodbye and find another server. No problems about that. So let me check something actually. Let me check if we are we're 3 users shy from 4,000 Discord users, almost 4,000. And I want also to have a look and see how many subscribers the channel has sorry, arrived. So we're still at 24,700. So I guess by the end of next week we're going to be at 25,000. So yeah, it's going great. Okay, so how are we doing? Oh my God, I see so many rickrolls. Thanks, Sissy. No Discord on Discord. Yes, Rob. Yes. All right. How you can avoid graining on tires? Steering input is your number one. I mean, if you have usually those tires, usually those Pirelli tires do not suffer graining from, you know, cold temperatures, because graining usually is pushing too much the tires in cold temperatures. Okay, but what they do suffer, and every tire suffer this, is scrubbing. If you are, you know, asking too much from the tire at every single turn, every single lap. So if you are asking that, it means that you are probably, you know, suffering a lot of graining by the end of your stint. And if that is happening, so you get, you know, moderate, average, or severe graining at the front tires, then I can assure you that 99% of the reason is that you could make a turn with this kind of steering input, but for whatever reason you are, you know, used to it. You think you get more grip, but it's not true, and so on and so on. Instead of using this steering input for a given turn, you use this steering input. So this difference here, okay, is what practically takes the tire from the peak of the lateral force to something that is almost at the peak, but it's sliding too much. And this sliding generates tearing and practically, you know, tears out chunks of the tire while you're turning. You do this for 1 lap, no big issues. You do this for 5 laps, no big issues, but lap after lap after lap for, you know, 1 hour stint, big issues. Okay, so 99% of the situation is, if you are experiencing big tearing problems, that's the issue. Too much steering input. Okay, you have 2 things to do to avoid that. One is obviously limit your steering input. You will need to do a lot of practice to learn this, and I highly, advise you to do so. And you will be surprised that, I mean, if you feel that the car is, steering as you need, I mean, do this exercise. Go to a long turn, okay, and you steer, and you're like this, and you feel the car steering, and you're like, okay, good. I mean, I don't have big understeer. It's good like that. Once the car is doing what you think is correct, do this. Just go out by that. Not much, that, okay? Or if you're like this, go out by, so 5-7 degrees less of what you're using. So you're like this and, oh, that's good, go here. You'll be surprised that you will even gain more grip by doing this. You will gain even more rotation by doing this. So try that. The other thing you could do is instant, experience is raising the steering ratio. So if your steering ratio is, for example, 12, okay, into the setup, put it at 14. You might feel that the car is a little bit more sluggish, but for the same steering input, your tires and wheels will turn less, and that will have the same result, So yeah, try those two things. A bicycle. Hello, Michele. How are you doing? How to keep tire pressures consistent for long stints? Well, if you have done everything correctly, they should be relatively consistent. You're gonna experience a little bit of tire pressure loss towards the end of the stint, but this is because worn out tires have less tread, and less tread means less heat generation because there's less tire, and less heat generation, of course, means that the temperatures go down, and if they go down by a little bit, the pressures will also go down by a little bit. So 0.3, 0.4 psi less pressures from the start of the stint to the end of the stint. You could take this into account and maybe overinflate your tires by 0.2 at the start, and then at the middle of the stint you will have perfect pressures, and at the end of the stint you have 0.2 psi less. Okay, you could do that. But other than that, it also depends on the ambient and track temperature. So if your stint, unfortunately, is at a point where the weather changes, or the sun goes down and a lot of the track goes into shadow, then the track temperature goes down, and obviously your heat of the tires will go down, and the pressures will go down as well. That's, it's the conditions, okay? If the conditions are stable and you're driving correctly and you have done everything correctly, then, the pressure should stay in a reasonable average values, and you shouldn't have big problems. I have no idea, the Buster, Nick, in damp conditions, wet tires or dry, I don't know. It depends how many cars run around the circuit. It's truth to be told, the Snetterton doesn't have big paddles, and so you could, risk more to be on slick tires instead of wet. All good, good. And then people, use 10x multiplier, so yeah. Track temp, yes, it is the same on the whole track, unfortunately, yes. That was water, yes. All right, so Fernando, the feeling you get, the tire is the same, obviously, but the feeling you get depends on the many factors. First of all, suspension geometry, and as you can, as you can understand, the suspension of the Nissan, of the Nismo, is completely different from the suspension of the Aston. Then you have aerodynamics that also are different between the two cars. Then you have inertia and weight, which is also different. That is why our cars have all different characters. All the stuff simulated bring character to the car, and the tires could be the same because all the cars use the same Pirelli tires. But each car has its own unique character, and obviously that character also translates in different feelings for you on the steering wheel, or how the car behaves according to your inputs. Καλησπέρα, Κωνσταντίνε. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so we are back to our Snetterton circuit walk after this small break, and yeah, so we are at the back straight. I'm so thirsty today. I don't know why. So we are at the back straight. And as I said before, we move slowly to the right hand of the road. Federico, maybe after this circuit walk, I think some guy has will make available its server, and maybe we can jump and do a couple of races tonight together, everybody. So stay tuned. Maybe you can do it. How fast are the marbles building up in a session? Together with the, I think they build a little bit later than the optimum grip. So you get optimum grip, and then after a while again, depending on how many cars they are lapping, you get the maximum amount of marbles into a session. All right, so we are going into the back straight. We are moving slowly towards the right hand side of the road. Once again, just point your car over here and go straight like this. Don't go too soon on the right. Okay, and now we are approaching one of the most technical corners of Snetterton. I love it personally. I really like it. It's really very nice. The feel that you get when you are doing it correctly is really nice. How to approach this corner? The first orange end of the guardrail here is your first, reference point to start, approaching and learning this corner. You could brake heavily at the start of this, at the orange of the guardrail here. And if you do so, you can brake very heavily. You will arrive at the turn with very low speed. You can release the brakes completely, make the turn, straight up again, and brake. But we don't want to do that, right? We are experts, we are amazing people, we are great drivers, and only, I don't know, the humidity, make us to not end up in real Formula One. So, because we are so great drivers, we don't care about this orange task over here. We just go straight ahead. We approach the bridge, okay? And just before going under the bridge, somewhere around here, just before going under the bridge, with some cars, even you could even go almost under the bridge, so you start braking really heavily. 100% brake on the ABS, brake, and go slowly inside. You want to arrive over here, almost as if this was the apex, which is not. But you really want to arrive over here and stay on the inside. Brake, 100%. When you arrive just before the start of the curb here, this is where you want to release the brakes and slightly modulate them. You have to stay a little bit on the brakes, okay, but it really has to be like 5–10%. So release the maximum pressure of the brakes here, because otherwise you're gonna end up way wide with understeer. So release the brakes. The moment you do that, you will feel a lot of oversteer. You will feel rotation of the car. Okay, you have to release the brakes and counter steer a little bit to control the rotation. But that rotation is what we really need here. That rotation is fantastic. We need the rotation because you see here I'm going slowly and I need all this steering input to make the turn. When you are going to do the lap here and you will be arriving very, very fast, you release the brakes, okay? The car rotates and you will find yourself almost counter-rotating or almost going straight with the steering wheel, but you have to be fast, okay? So you don't like and wait because you're gonna end up wide again. No, you want to turn, release, like this, okay? So keep on pointing the front end on the curb here and control the over rotation, okay? And once you are doing that and you have rotated the car and you arrive like this here, straight back with the steering wheel, hard on the brakes, 100% again. This very tiny space over here, you will be arriving really fast, but incredibly enough, this tiny space over here, when you will go back into 100% braking, okay, your car will be able to slow down just enough to make the next right-hander. So, car is rotated, hard on the brakes, okay, brakes, 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 and start going inside. Because you are braking so hard, it's very easy to stay on the brakes because you are afraid that you're going to end up wide, and you're rotating, and as you know, tires cannot give both lateral and longitudinal grip at 100%. So if you are staying in 100% of the braking and try to turn in, the car will understeer wide. So once more, while you are going in and you start feeling the first symptoms of understeer, be brave, release the brakes completely, release the brakes. I know you think, oh my God, I'm gonna end up wide, I'm gonna end up outside of the road, I already have understeer. What is this madman is, telling me? Do it, just release completely the brakes. You'll see that the front end will find tons of lateral grip and it will point inside here on the apex of this 90 degrees turn, okay? Obviously, don't go over the sausage here. It's very high. The car will jump a lot and it's gonna ruin. So what you really want to do is, with a little bit of practice, just, end up exactly like this. This is where you want to be, okay? Right, if you have done everything correctly, right on the apex, right on the top of the turn, you can go hard on the accelerator. You're gonna be here either in first or second gear, depending on the car, usually second gear, okay? So hard on the accelerator, second gear, power oversteer, you're gonna exit this turn really, really nicely in power oversteer and straight outside, and stay at the left as much as possible. Okay, look at this turn. It's really, really strange. So practically, the turn is flat at the start and flat at the exit, but right at the apex, there is a dip of the road. So you're gonna experience some understeer at the turn in, lots of grip at the center, and again understeer at the exit. It's a really very strange turn. What you really want to do is, you don't really need to brake here. Enter the turn, release the brakes, release the accelerator. So enter in coasting, okay? And with coasting, you should be able, maybe some telegraph on the accelerator, you should be able to rotate the car pretty well, okay? You can even go over the curb, but it will upset the car. And you might even lose pressure. So do it maybe if you really have practiced on, on some qualifying lap, but honestly, I would advise against it. You just want to just touch the curb over here, Okay, rotate the car again, just with the accelerator, don't touch the brakes, accelerator, maybe some, again, telegraphing to rotate the car even more, and once the curb finishes, hard on the accelerator, and again, some power oversteer in third gear, all of this is third gear, and you can end up quite wide here. You could end up here. Some cars take it better, some cars take it worse, but you can end up wider from the curb over here, okay? Now, full acceleration, and what follows is a very, very long right-hander, extremely long. It keeps on going and going and going, and as it goes, the radius become smaller and smaller and smaller, so you need to scrub speed as you are going into that very long right-hander. And at the end of the turn, not only the radius is smaller, but you also need to brake really hard for the final turn. But let's try to approach it from the start, all right? So my way of approaching this turn is going in sooner. Okay, don't wait outside, go in sooner, go into a very early apex, and you will notice under acceleration, okay, under acceleration, that the car will start to understeer. Stay a little bit on the acceleration while the car drifts outside because you are understeering, okay? And when you realize, okay, that now I'm getting understeer, release the accelerator and go into coasting. Normally the car should rotate. If you find that the car does not rotate enough, a pinch of brake, just pop, pop, maybe just as if your foot has some ABS incorporated, so just pop, pop with the brake, and that should permit your car to rotate even more. So you're gonna end up a little bit wide like this, and at some point the car will rotate, and once you see the car rotating like that, you can go the accelerator again. And going into the accelerator, you should have scrubbed enough speed to permit the power of the engine to initiate a slight drift. And that slight drift is what will permit your car to rotate once more and stay closer to the white line, okay? Don't let that curb, inner curb, fool you and go over it. Just stay close to the white line here. Approaching those cones here, which are after the inside curb that we just saw, those cones might not exist after a couple of laps, but at least remember, the inner curb, you go over the inner curb and the radius becomes even smaller of the turn. You might experience some extra understeer again once more. The power of the engine won't be enough. So you might experience some understeer. At that point, start modulating the accelerator. Less, more, less, more. Just make it so that, staying on the accelerator, but by modulating up and down, you stay close into the white line here. Ideally, you want at the third cone to have rotated the car and start braking. Now, the third cone won't be there, probably. So you need once more to find out some paths on the grass to help you out. It's very hard, but as you can see, there is this paths on the grass right on the cone. What can I tell you? Do the best you can. One thing that might help you is that, as you can see, there is a lot of turn, and that turn practically ends and becomes almost a straight line after that third cone. All those visual clues together might help you to understand that, okay, I'm here, and this is where you really want to start braking. 100% braking. Try to not drive the car to the outside too much or to the inside. Try to, while you are braking 100%, to give as less steering input as possible. So as less steering input as possible, because obviously the less the steering input, the better and shorter your braking distance will be. If you have done everything correctly, you shouldn't end up this wide. You should end up somewhere closer to the middle of the road, okay? And that will permit you to release the brakes and go in, okay? And like this, a little bit of patience. Don't go instantly with the accelerator. This curb once more at the outside is pretty nasty. With the GT4 cars you just go outside and lose all the pressure, but at least you survive and you are faster. With the GT3 cars it's better, you know, to not overdo it and stay inside the road and outside. That was the last turn, and this is not a turn practically. So here you are, one lap at Snetterton track, right? Really extremely technical circuit. One bend is not the same with the other. Most of them are later apex, double apex. Roads goes up and down in dips, in very slight dips inside the turns, nasty curbs, really very hard stuff. Okay, so let's do a couple of laps just to show you everything in speed. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions or if you like the this circuit walk. Soft or hard suspension? I would say quite hard suspension. The track is not bumpy, honestly, and it pays to have a very well controlled aerodynamic platform. So yeah, hard suspension. Thank you, Hans Olsen. All right, so let's do a couple of laps here. It is very hard. It is very hard track, absolutely. Okay, let's do it. Let's do a couple of laps. I know already I'm gonna end up wide and over the curbs and everything. It's if you are not if you haven't done enough practice, it's very easy to make big mistakes on this track. As usual, remember, guys, don't go over the curbs, especially on those British tracks when your tires are still, you know, cold and the pressures are down. Do a couple of laps to bring the pressures up, and then you can start, you know, abusing a little bit more. Look at that, this is terrible here. Yeah, don't do this with cold tires. You see, if I brake too late, I won't be able to go over the curb over there. Okay, our first try here. You can see modulate the brake and release. Way too fast inside. Early in, a little bit of brake. You see, I rotate the car. All right, we are alive. Oops. Watching the chat, reading the chat. Yes, I'm that kind of idiot. And my tires are all... Okay, release the brakes, wait and go. All right. Look at that, so much understeer here. Brake a little bit sooner and go inside like this. Look at this. Oversteer. Yes, this is losing a lot of time, of course, as I told you. It's a very rewarding track, yes, I agree. Look at this, very late braking. Release, brake hard again and release. So nice, so nice. Too much rotation here. Not very good at exit here. I'm losing lots of time because I'm waiting so much to go on the accelerator. Late braking. Release the brakes and accelerate. Yeah, it's so hard to not go wide. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've lost it here. I've lost the entrance. Almost. You see how I ended up wide over there. You see how the car doesn't really like to be over the curbs over there. Just went a little bit sooner on the accelerator over there, that wasn't that bad.
Well done, mate. That's all the best.
Pressures are a little bit too high for the temperature that I have right now. But still, I mean, the car is really nice, drivable. Oh, too much oversteer. Still overdid it on the entry. Nice, that was so nice. Terrible. See how much time I've lost. But yeah, you can see how 47 or 46 can be easily done once you get some experience over the track. Always stay sooner here. And here a little bit sooner. See, cut over here like this. Look at that exit, so much better. And also here the exit improved. Not so much. Let's see if we can nail the braking here. Whoa! That was some really nasty oversteer from Pitch. You see how a good exit over here can gain you so much time, even if I did all the errors before. Alright, okay. So, here we are. You can see the pressures here are all way too high, but still the car wasn't that bad. Cool, so this goes me reading the chat while trying to drive. Otherwise, this was a nice circuit walk at Snetterton. And with that, we have concluded our BritishGT DLC circuit walks. Yay! All right. So, what time is it? It's 11:32. What do we want to do now? Let's see if that that friend of ours on the Discord channel has the server up. I don't even remember who he was. Nick, yes. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions, or if you enjoyed it, or if you need something extra. Haha, CC driver. Yeah, we will do also those, but you know, easier. I mean, let me get a break and do some racing for the next weeks. So let's see. Pop, 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 pop. Where was? I have no idea where that. Setup tips to save the tires in the long race. Well, I can tell you that. You can save maybe 5% of the tires with some setups and screw it all from driving, because driving obviously it's going to ruin your tires by 70-80%, you know. So I can tell you, and I will tell you, but keep in mind that whatever you do, if then by your time doesn't suit your driving, so you overdo it, or for whatever reason, that's gonna have much more influence, you know, than the setup. That said, the best way, I mean, there are some classical things you can do to save your setups. The first thing is obviously try to use as low toe as possible front and rear. Okay, as low toe as possible, because obviously the less toe you have, convergenza, right? So the less toe you have, the less you scrub the tires at the straights, at the turns, and everywhere. Less camber also helps. So less camber, a little bit of less tire wear. Softer mechanical grip and dampers also, you know, use less tires. More downforce usually keeps your driving style less sliding, okay, and maybe it will help your tires. But if you are so good that you are, taking advantage of the extra area or the extra downforce, and you push the car way too much into the turns, that will obviously consume the tires. But usually more aero means that the car slides around less, and a car that slides around less obviously consumes less tires. More traction control and more ABS also uses less the tires. So all that things together save the tires. Here's the trick though. Here's the trick. Now you know that if you go here and you have a look, for example, we can have a look here and we can see that just with 3 laps that we did on the circuit, we have the front left tire consumed more than all the others, okay? Especially from the rears. This also happens more in certain circuits and more with certain cars. So cars that have a lot of weight at the rear, for example, they might consume the rear tires much more than the front. Or vice versa, cars that have a lot of tire consumption, that have a lot of weight at the front, they might consume much more the front tires than the rear. So while it is true that you can save the tires, okay, with all the tricks that I told you, if going ahead with the tire stint, you have a big imbalance between front and rear, that will bring more sliding and thus more tire wear to the axis that has the imbalance. So if you have a front weight car and you have your front tires after, I don't know, half an hour, they are like 250 here, 2.5, and at the rear they are 2.7, right? In my opinion, what I can tell you as an advice, it's not worth it to have the whole, the whole setup in a way that 2.5 here and 2.7 here becomes 2.55 here and 2.75 here at the back, okay? Because there is a lot of imbalance. So, okay, what should we do? I would suggest to make a setup that is a big compromise, of course, to consume as much rear tires as possible, in a way that you arrive with 250 at the front, 255 at the front, and 260 at the rear. So how can I do that? You can go at the rear and put a lot of toe, for example, and go at the front and put it almost to 0. You can have a much higher stiffness at the rear, for example, okay? Much more stiff dampers at the rear, and try to consume more the rear tires in order that as you go ahead with the stint, there is less imbalance, and so the car remains more neutral even if it consumes the tires. Because if the car remains more neutral, it means that the front tires, because they are getting consumed more in this kind of car, they will still have enough grip to keep the car, doing what you need. Same situation at the opposite kind of the spectrum with rear end weight balanced car, like, I don't know, the Lamborghini or the Porsche, right? So usually you have the rear end of the car that consumes the tires more, and you have the front end that consumes the tires less. And you say, well, normally, to keep the rear end from sliding on those cars, I need to put 0.15 toe at the rear, but to keep the rear tires getting consumed, I have to go down with this. All right, fine. Don't overdo it. Keep some of that. Exaggerate at the front toe. Exaggerate at the front camber. Okay, exaggerate that. Make the front much more stiffer. also with the dampers. What you need to achieve is that when you arrive and your rear tires are 2.4, instead of having the front 2.7, you bring the fronts at 2.6. Okay, so the car remains a little bit more balanced, you know. So this is what I would say. So that's why, you know, the race setup has to be on certain cars much different than you know, than the qualifying setup. Is it a big deal? So Kosiolek asks, what about the wets in 1.7? How different is compared to earlier versions? Is it a big deal? How can I tell you if it is a big deal or not? Depends on what you're driving, how you feel it. So, for example, rear engine cars had big issues with the wet tires. Now they are way more balanced. Okay, that means that those cars have become closer to some of the OP cars with wet tires before. It's not that those cars became slower, it's that the other cars came up to level. And it depends on the conditions. On some conditions, the rear engine cars with more weight will now gain more traction, and they will not go instantly in overheating, and so they will have the upper hand. On other situations, you know, the front engine cars will be easier to drive, and they will become the OP cars, and so on. Federico, you should listen what the car does. I mean, if it jumps and you hear the under tray noise, obviously it's bottoming out. It shouldn't be that difficult. Balance is everything. Balance is everything. Okay, so I think our guy said that he put his server. All right, okay, so we have the server. Let me go there. We have a server. Let's see if there is still space, and obviously you can watch what I'm doing. Okay, so server is Andy ACC Aris. Hey, here it is. No, it's not. No, hey, yes, of course, because if I'm writing Adni, obviously the server is not there. Andy. Yeah, here it is. So here's the server, Andy ACC Aris. It's mixed. What should I choose? I don't know. What car should I choose? Let's stick with the Mercedes. All right. And here it is, and the password is Spamalot. 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 Connect, and we're in. You are free to join, guys. If you want to have a go with us, please join us. And let's have a little bit of fun. So what we have here, we have 38 minutes of practice yet, 50 minutes of qualifying, and 30 minutes of race. It's going to be fun, you know, just for the laughs. Don't bring your safety rating together. We just, you know, want to have some fun. So, it's a mixed race, so you can join with GT4s. We have just one GT4 right now. And let's go to the setup. Aggressive setup. Temperature is lower, so maybe I won't change the pressure right now and see how it is. I would like a little bit extra wing. It was a little bit nervous. All right. Hey, Marinko. I wish I knew. Hey, Panayoti. Hi. Lupo, the password is Spamalot. You can find it on the leagues and communities in my Discord server. All right. Ah, it's okay, it's okay. You can still watch us guys having fun. Hopefully you will have some fun yourself. Yeah, I'm a bad person, I know. Hey, Ryan is here. Let's heat up those tires a little bit. With the extra wing and some rake, I feel the car better. Last famous words. Okay, so who's that in front of us? Ah, it's Matt Samuel. No, it's B Samuel. With a GT4. Thank you so much, mate.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh, I'm going wide. Someone also missed the braking zone. Bruno Samuel. Completely missed the braking zone there. Hello, Andy Mon. Ah, Andy is the server admin. So thank you, Andy, for putting the server up for us. Thank you so much.
Yellow flag is up. Watch out in front.
Oh, look at that. Το κάψουμε το εργαλείο, χώσε! Με 8.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
It has a great turn in here. Front end is so good. And then it has so much torque. Look at that. Whoa. What's that? A small Zinetta appears. Hello, guy. Thank you. Watching. It's all done. I'm reading the chat way too much as usual.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best. There's a slow car up ahead. Yellow flag in sector 2.
Thank you, mate. So much torque, this car. Yeah. Still don't I'm not able to make that turn properly. Hello, Samuel. I'm not driving very well.
Well done, mate. This is me, your personal best. There's a slow car up ahead.
Very nice here. Also here it's also very nice. Oh, I overdid it.
Slow car ahead.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Well, I was just watching the chat as usual. So how big is the difference between engine maps in lap time? Depends on the car. It depends on the engine map. Usually you gain a little bit of fuel and you lose a very tiny bit of power. We're talking about, I mean, the Mercedes between engine map 1 and engine map 2, you might lose, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 horsepower. That's it. That's it. Hey, Linda! All right, so this is not correct. We've lost some pressure. So I think it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have nothing else to do on the car right now. It's okay. Linda, you did it. Maybe a little bit of extra here. Yeah, again, I mean, depend. I know, for example, I remember out of my mind that the differences in the engine pumps in the old Jaguar are quite significant. Also, some cars have, you know, engine pump normal, and then at some point you get the, I don't know, yellow flag or full course yellow engine pump, and that kills completely the engine, and so on and so on. I don't remember them, but if you go on our Discord channel and you ask about what's the bot question, the bot question is, where is it? I don't remember. Let me find it. Should be here. I don't remind what the bot question is. I think it brings you, if you go into dev blogs, ask dev blogs, it will bring you where we have all the information for the eco maps. All right, so yes, fuel 3.2, half an hour. Let me check how much I need to put fuel for the car for half an hour, more or less, at least. So total race time 30 minutes. Average lap time. What is the lap times that we're doing here? 147, 148, whatever. 148. All right, fuel per lap 3.2. 55. All right, yeah, so we're good. Danny says there is something curious that happens with the ID, which is when you lower it down to 55, 56 in both sides, front and rear, I guess you mean, tends to power lift oversteer. What power lift off oversteer means? It's either power or lift off. This does not happen when higher with the same aerial. Well, whatever you're experiencing, which I do not understand, but I mean, if you overdo it and you bring the car very, very low to the ground, it might be that at some circuits and some turns you stall the diffuser and or the splitter and you lose downforce. So going flat down to the ground, it's not always the best possible scenario. So what do we have here? Discord. Yeah, let me join the Discord channel so that you guys can hear us chatting around. Why not? I mean, we're live. Let's do with the community. Yay, everybody! Hello.
Hey, hola.
Hello. How you doing, guys? We are live, so say hi to all the people in the chat that we are watching live.
Hola.
And let me know if I disturb you, if I keep on talking to the guys, or if it's fine for you.
It's
No,
okay
that's
for me.
cool. That's cool, man. That's cool.
All right. Is
Yeah,
Andy?
just have fun.
Is Andy here?
I am here.
Oh,
That's me.
thank you so much for the server, mate.
No, it's no problem. I say it was just a good test to start with because I wanted to set one up. So it's best to play with friends and with you guys online for the Discord group. So it's all just for fun.
Great, great.
I am, just to let you know, I am playing this in VR. So if there's anything you need with the server, let me know.
All right.
Because I don't have it up on the same screen or the second screen. So it's difficult for me to just change
Sure.
settings or to can check Discord and things like that. I can't really do at the moment.
Sure, sure. No worries,
But
no
yeah,
worries.
no problem. To say it's just for a bit of fun. It was a little test for me. I wanted to see if I could run it from home, and we maybe do it regularly. I know a lot of the people on the Discord. Hang on, I need to get off the line. A lot of people on the Discord. They they do like the time trials and lap challenges. So it's maybe fun for everyone to. If they want to get, I think Ara is making a database with some Motec data. So
Cool, very cool. So
maybe you find it useful.
let me raise the Motec telemetry laps here so I can give him, I don't know, 20 laps or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you again for the server. Thank you so much.
No, it's no problem, Aris. No problem, mate.
All right, let's do some laps then.
Are you in? Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already in.
Okay, cool. So I may play. I will be play very casual tonight. I think this is my first time I ever raced on Snetterton.
Ha, nice.
I done a GT4 earlier here just to get a feel for the track.
Cool. I have already told guys that it's all for the fun now and leave your safety ratings at home and join.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
happens,
yeah.
it happens,
That's it. As long as no one's being abusive or being a complete dick, that's fine. Have some fun. It's all good. It's all good. I haven't even got the pressures yet, so we're not going to get very far here today.
Yeah.
You say you're streaming at the moment, are you?
How?
Are you streaming, did you say?
Yeah, I'm streaming already. I've just finished the circuit walk of the track, and now it's the perfect occasion to do some laps.
Yeah. Cool. Right, let's go. Pressure all over the place. Like with the curbs and the grass I've been spanking on the way around.
As you can see, guys, already most of the billboards are dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling people, you know, do not get the billboards as reference points because.
I know. And
Yeah.
you always pick the like things like the grass.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's the only way because otherwise.
Yes. In VR, I have all the grass settings turned down, so sometimes I don't see the patches.
Oh, really? It goes
Yeah,
down
you
that
don't see-
much?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
shit.
like they are just like plain textures sometimes.
Oh, that's terrible.
So it's okay though because I have you know vision. I can see all around me and that you can
Yeah.
perceive depth really easy. So if I know it's a distance away, I can just see it. and
That's
then
good, that's good.
Yeah. You don't get that on the flat
Yeah, no,
screens,
absolutely. I mean, on a small screen like mine, you
Yeah.
just have to get all the grass patches that you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Good evening, guys.
Hello!
Hello. Nice.
Good evening.
Who's
guys.
there?
Welcome. I think
So-
everyone has the password as well then, don't they? Everyone's joining. I don't know how many more spaces is left.
We are plenty already. I don't know how many.
I think I set 20 or 30.
All right.
Are you preparing for an event this weekend, or?
No, it's just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah. We was talking about dedicated servers in chat, I think, yesterday, and I've been meaning to set up a server. One of my friends has just started playing ACC, so I wanted to. We sometimes go online, and I show him the lines, and you know, we talk about the cars and things. And it's difficult online though because there's always people bouncing off you, and you know, if you go to an empty server, everyone will join. It becomes a full server very quickly. So I thought I'm going to make a
yeah.
server, and then we can just practice together and learn the tracks and things. And I thought it would be nice for everyone, for the guys on Discord, to come join. We can just have some fun races. Maybe a bit less serious than the leagues that we do.
Yeah, every once in a while, you
Makes
need a
sense.
fun race.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a fun race.
Andy, can you actually, with the tool that you installed, can you put random tracks or something, or you have to change them manually?
I believe you can random track and you can change them manually.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
You can choose, yeah. I mean, at the moment, I've just set it to this single track. There's no,
Yeah.
There's no track
Makes sense.
list. Yeah, there's no track list. It's just, it just is just for this for tonight.
Yeah, fun
So we
race, Patrick.
We are not forwarding the practice, huh? So we have 19 minutes left.
Yes, 19 minutes. Yeah,
Easy. That's good.
it's just
I can
something just for people to maybe learn some lessons from Aris' stream.
Yeah, makes sense.
Remember the breakpoints. Get some presses set up.
I only practiced in GT4 right now, this track, and if you go to GT3, it's just so different.
Oh yeah, it's a
Very
whole
different
different
thing.
track.
Yeah, very different. I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning I done GT4 here. It's really nice though. It's really fun, and the GT3 is it's totally different. All the breakpoints, all your markers, everything.
Yeah. Actually, I found it easier in the GT4s. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit more forgiving over the bumps. And
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah, that's
you
the
can-
main.
Yeah, you can send the car sideways as well, and it's more fun. With GT3, if you're going sideways, something's really wrong. I'll see if I can get a lap in next time. I've been talking, I keep moving out of the way of everyone, and then I end up on the grass to change some settings, and I think I got one lap in earlier, under 2 minutes, maybe. The other ones were sort of 8 minutes, I think, 9 minutes.
I'm having already a small battle here with a very nice McLaren. Van
which
Mol
car are
is
you?
the guy.
Okay, which one are you?
I'm the Mercedes behind it. The Vasilakos is my surname.
Oh, is your Vasilakis? Oh, I just saw you go past. That was
Yeah.
me moving over then, in the Bentley.
Ah, right.
I have the shiny Union Jack British Bentley.
Yeah.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left.
It's nice and comfortable. It stops me spilling my
Clear on the
cocktail
left.
when I drink my vodkas and my martinis. Good suspension.
So how many minutes was in the session left?
think maybe
16
now.
maybe.
Like this, yeah.
Oh, okay. And after that, it's just new session, or
Yeah, after that is
Car on the
15-minute quali,
Clear on the right.
then 30-minute race.
I don't think I'm gonna make that.
You have to go.
I have to go to bed at some point.
It's nearly 12 for me.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh, too much. Too much power.
Knowing what to do still doesn't allow me to actually do it.
I think I'm leaving for now, but Andy, I'll keep an eye on these sessions if it's.
Yeah, no worries, mate, no worries.
It's
So
right here.
good for fun, yeah? Just nothing serious, just come along. I'll let everyone know if we do it again anyway. We'll set up maybe even regular nights, or we'll have you know, like a weekly challenge or something like that, so people can come and put some laps in.
Yellow flag,
See.
yellow flag, be careful.
Then, thank you. Well, good night for now.
No worries.
Take
good
care.
night.
Cheers.
Right, let's get the lap in. We've got past the GT4s now.
Let me follow some fast guy.
McLaren.
Yeah, follow the guys that know what they're doing. It's easier to learn. Don't follow me. Follow Aris, he knows his way around.
Yeah. If you're gonna go slow, follow me.
I bet I can go slower.
Yeah. You gotta go slow, follow me.
I bet I can go slower.
I hear my live streams from someone inside
Yeah,
this.
same. I just heard that, the feedback.
Again.
Oh, he's missed the brake one. There goes my lap.
Ah.
Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
Okay, we improved a little bit.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far. Left. Clear on the left.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
It's such a hard technical track.
Ooh.
Look.
Yeah, Crash just curves.
Oh, I touched outside. Oh, come on. I've touched the dirt outside. That was nasty. Look at that. Look at that. Just a tiny bit of the outside rear end.
Is that yellow flag you?
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Oh, look at that. Just and out I go. Yeah. I'll have to. Let me see who is the guy that is.
You've got a noisy microphone.
Yeah,
somewhere.
we'll have to lower.
Yeah,
I think
I've just
it's
touched the
Nick.
curb and-
Yeah, it was Nick. Okay.
Is
Lower
my
thing.
microphone working actually?
Okay. Go back. Yes. Return to the garage. So how are we? We are half a second from Ryan. Marcelo would not approve, you know. How are we
evening,
doing? Hello.
Hoping I'm not too late to the party.
No, you're not. You're not. We're just in free practice. 11 minutes. So then we
There you
have 15 minutes qualifying and then half an hour race
Oh,
for the fun.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, all good. Oh, I'm losing so much pressure here. Jesus. That's terrible. Alright, let's go down a little bit with the fuel and see what I can do.
Hey, I'm in front of Andy.
there you go. Oh, hang on, who's that?
What privacy? There is no privacy here. Royal de Mulder says, good to know privacy is ruined when you are in the voice chat. Privacy? We have no privacy here.
Andy, how am I a second above faster?
Alright, so go. Ha! I just got disqualified.
Oh, right.
Alright.
I will get a lap in. I will.
That's better.
Well, maybe.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Just a heads up, car number 23 doesn't know really the track, and that's me, so...
I'm gonna punt him off the track.
That's me!
If you see car number 69, that's me then. We'll go around together. Yeah, hold your hands.
Don't even try to pronounce my name, so...
I was about, you know, to think something like a model like that. It's okay, let the guy, you know, learn the track. I don't think it's a record. And then you said, "No, that's me."
Are you in the GT3s or 4s?
Most of us are in GT3s, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the Huracan Evo.
Rodrigo, that's not true. In map 2, it has something like... I mean, Rodrigo complains that the AMG is very weak, and that's why everybody wins on the AMG, but that's a different reason. And it doesn't complete a race in map 1, again, not true, except on some circuits. And on map 2, it literally dies. It loses 2 or 3 or 4 maybe horsepower somewhere around the power band. That's all it loses, 2-3 horsepower. I know, I have the data, I did the damn thing. So it's all placebo, man. Just drive the car.
Ah, missed the brake.
Silence.
I think he's on a lap.
You pinged the devs, so that's not allowed.
Please don't ping the devs.
Who's a good user? And I just went straight.
I haven't even finished the refresher set. Yeah, just a bit of over-rotation, nothing to worry about.
Oh, there's someone in a mosquito in front of me. Beep beep. Oh, the curb! No! Oh, shit. Whoa!
Was that you?
That was me, yeah. Well, that wasn't me going flying. That was me clipping the curb and losing my corner. And then someone just come flying across in front of me. I don't know who it was in the Ginetta. Oh, it's Aris behind me.
No, no, no. Don't be afraid.
Car on the left. Clear on
I'm
the
a break point. I lost my line totally. Totally lost my line there. Oh, I got a lap in under 2 minutes. That was heroic.
No, I'm in a GT3. It seems slow like a GT4, but I'm in the GT3, I swear.
You're not slow. Maybe compared to Tortellini, but you're not slow. Right, let's go down that road.
Yep, that's grass.
Oh, come on.
I actually use my indicators.
Using the loud pedal, yes.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
Let's try again.
My car, being an angry bull, decided to just get some grass, you know.
I think I'm actually faster in a GT4.
Oof. Yay, pole position. Oh no, it's practice.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh, I've lost it.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
All right, let me stop here. So Voodoo Child asked very logically, says, well, if the difference is only 3-4 horsepower, why the fuel per lap difference is so massive, like half a liter per lap in this truck? Well, you need to understand that all those cars here, all the engines are restricted. And by restricted, I mean that the intake has a smaller opening than what it should have, than even, you know, the road car. Smaller opening into the intake means that less, less air goes into the engine. Less air goes into the engine, less fuel you can burn to actually, you know, make more power. So even if you put more fuel into the engine, you don't make more power because there is only an amount of fuel you can put in the engine with an amount of air to make the perfect combustion, all right? So that means that all the engines are like, you know, we arrive at 500 horsepower and we cannot do more even if we put more fuel because, you know, we have the restrictions. So the last 3, 4, 5 horsepower that they gain on the best, you know, map is that they try to put all the possible fuel in by arriving as close to the optimum situation, but they could, you know, put in even more fuel, but you don't gain much. On the contrary, you could go much leaner, so much less fuel for the same air, okay, and lose less because the engine is still big, lose not much of a power, but still have important gains in economy. So this is more or less the reason why you switch the EQ and you gain quite a bit, depending on the car, of course, in fuel consumption, but not big troubles, not big losses in power of the car. The crane is still there, CC driver. Yes, everything else is gone. That's true. Now, keep in mind that the 3 horsepower is not at the top end of only, but it's through the whole band of the torque. So from, let's say, 3,000 RPM to 7,000 RPM, and it goes up and down. You might lose, I don't know, 7, 6, 5, 4. At the end, at the very top, you lose very less. Maybe at the middle, you lose a little bit more. At the lower revs, you lose less, and so on and so on.
Green light, show them what you got.
You gain much more fuel if you half or go off throttle. Off throttle, you don't consume any fuel at all. So again, you know, driving style is much more important than you know, anything that the EQ map can give you. I mean, it depends, Voodoo Child. If, you know, running map 1 still makes for the stint, then fine. If you see that you're like that, go to map 2 and raise the whole stint on map 2. Right, so let's go. Yeah, 15 here, something like this. Fresh tires, and let's try. I don't think I'm gonna, as usual in qualifying, I suck big time. But we will try and see. A nice Ferrari in front of us.
Don't follow the braking of that Lambo.
Remember, guys, first laps. First laps, do not get the
I was just looking
curbs.
at your brakes, just zoning out back here, and I thought that's a bit late, and we both just went really deep there.
Yeah, I haven't even realised that.
I'll give you about 5-second head start then, just in case.
Yeah, no problem.
Not that I'm going to catch you in 5 seconds, but at least if I can't see your brake lights, I'm not going to do anything like follow you.
Clear on the right.
By the way, my team name should, you know, tell you everything about my driving. It's ambitious but rubbish.
Modest, yeah.
Yes. honest more, probably.
Honest. Oh, there goes the Porsche.
Oh, yes, it is.
Be careful there.
Oh, that Porsche, what are you doing?
Was that Tortellini?
No. I'd ban him as soon as he joins.
Oh, hopefully not,
No, of course I wouldn't.
because you know I don't like to be lapped every second lap.
I will give him like 100 kilo
Oh,
ballast.
that's interesting. I like that. I like that aspect. Please do.
I'll give him just loads of ballast and see what he can do. And he'll still beat us.
Yes, probably yes.
You can join in GT4 and still do.
Yes, GT4 and beats everybody, you know. All right, qualifying time. Let's go. Lights are up and go. Yeah. I can see you.
Through the exit, the straight there. Oh, no, we're gone. Watch out. We're gone.
Let's see what lap is this. Right.
Well done, mate. Russell best.
Not so good. Ah. Too late. Not good. Oh, I was doing the whole inertia of drift and I was thinking about initial D. Not in the fuck! Can't say drift. Ridiculous.
Driftaroo!
I was reading someone in the chat asking me, Aris, are you following WRC Rally? And I was like, you know, full counters to lock. Oh, I don't know, you tell me. Thank you, mate.
GT4's up. Is that GT4's up ahead, Aris, or is that just slow?
Sorry?
Is that GT4's up ahead? Oh, yeah.
Car on the right.
If I'm in the GT4, no, GT3.
No, the cars you just passed.
Yes, I think so, yes. Oh, come on, Aris. And that's the end of it. Ah, 47 flat.
Nah.
Flagging validated. Yellow flag in sector 2.
Ah,
Yep.
nice, nice. 6 minutes. Should I try another one? No, I'm too tired. I'm too old. I'll take
Why
it.
Aris ahead of us?
I'll take it. I'll take it. 47 flat. It's good for me.
I get it.
Hey, Ryan, it's still my time.
Alright, one more then. Here we go. 2 laps maybe. 3 laps I get in. 1 lap.
Yeah, something like that should be good. Actually, let's save this setup. It's not. I mean, it's just the aggressive with a couple of things, but nothing else. But people might want to have a go. 5 T. Sorry, T33. 01. Whatever. All right. Tortellini did 44.8. Well, it's okay. I mean, just you know, come on, guys. I haven't even practiced here. I'm pretty sure I could go down to 46. Then
Aris, how many hours have you played this for?
How many hours I've played?
Yeah, have you actually raced for in ACC? How many hours?
I have no idea, because obviously it's not racing, because it's, you know,
Yeah.
hop in the car, do things, you may put data in, data out, telemetry is hopping, back out, hopping, and so on.
I mean, I guess you have dev builds as well. Obviously, you've obviously been in the program for a lot longer than you've raced it for.
Yeah, I can tell you that in Assetto Corsa 1, which was, you know, keeping time in the same way, either in the editor or in the game for Steam.
Yeah.
I haven't been touching, you know, Assetto Corsa 1 since almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm still #1 user in played hours. So that gives you an idea of what's going on behind the scenes.
I think Tortellini has 2,500 hours. in
I
ACC.
believe I can easily beat that. Easily.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Probably
It's your game.
double or triple, yeah.
And I just short shifted all the way down the straight there. That's while I was talking to you. I wasn't paying any attention. My hand was just clicking away. Well, am I half a second down already? Let's just.
Yeah,
let's
I
do
have 506 hours of playtime in Steam,
Ooh.
just in Steam,
Yeah.
for Assetto Corsa Competizione. So you can, you know, imagine every day what is happening.
Yeah. I used to run a really big server in Battlefield 4 a few years ago.
Oh.
And this was when I was just moved to Portugal, so I didn't have any full-time work here at the time.
Right.
I was just kind of when we just moved here, so I spend basically all day either playing it or running the server. I think I have I had 3 accounts, and one of my accounts I have over 4,000 hours on.
Oof.
And there was 2 more.
Amazing.
I don't know how many in total I've played it for, but it got a bit much actually after a while. It's not a very rewarding job.
Wow.
There's one way to get good at the game.
So you live in Portugal now?
Yeah, in the Algarve. in the south,
Nice.
right next to the Portimao circuit.
Oh, cool.
We get to hear the races whenever the races are on. And I live in the mountains near there. It's maybe 10, 15 minutes, from the circuit.
Right.
But they have the Monchique Rally here as well in the hills, and it's
man.
the best sound. Is the best sound. All the cars echoing through the
that's
hills.
amazing.
All the old natural engines, and we get the the old Escorts and things like that.
That's
we have
great.
Things like the turbos, like the Evos and the Scooby-Doos. Those great fun. But I don't think that we've had one this year. Or last year would be for the obviously COVID, and all the
Yeah.
travel restrictions.
Yeah,
is
unfortunately.
a problem.
Yeah, it's just 2 years thrown to the garbage for everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's hope that, towards the end of this year, things will get back to normal.
Hopefully everyone gets vaccinated
Yeah,
and wears
yeah.
the bloody mask. And,
Yes, yeah,
we
exactly.
get the numbers down, and then everyone's going to get let out again because it's it's difficult.
Exactly.
Very difficult for everyone.
Absolutely. My wife did the first shot of vaccine
Yeah.
because she's a medical doctor, so she
Oh,
just
okay.
got last weekend the first shot. So here's hoping that sooner or later our part will come too. So yeah, all cool, no problems at all. So we're waiting for the second shot.
You have the 2 shots.
Yeah, the
I think it's the
Pfizer
Zeneca,
one.
is it? Pfizer, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. My parents have just had theirs actually. They're back in the UK now.
Oh.
So I think the UK are trying to get everyone vaccinated by June. I think maybe. I think it's June.
The Pesci says, "Is she emitting 5G now?" Yes. Absolutely. Oh my god.
Well, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
How many people were? 20 people. Server looks very healthy and fresh, so I guess you could raise the number of clients by quite a bit of a margin, because I see the CPU here is just maximum 8%, something like that. But is this your computer, Andy?
sorry, 1 second, guys. I've just got to change some things.
All right. So probably Andy will give us ballast now so that he can win.
Snipes
Super.
setup had the asymmetric toe at the rear.
What?
In the McLaren, the
Yeah?
aggressive preset had the asymmetric toe at the rear. I guess that's from the,
Oh, that's
the rear
bad.
braking zones.
Let me take a note of that. That shouldn't be
Sorry,
there.
did I hear my name? I think someone said Andy something. I may be imagining.
Yeah, I was saying if the server is on the same computer you are racing from.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Ah, okay, all right. So it makes sense. Right, good.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. So it's no separate server or dedicated
Yeah.
server.
No.
So it was just a little test. I've just been doing a lot of network checking and checking the CPU,
Right.
which has a big effect on the playing in VR, the way the game engine renders the frames for the GPU. So it's interesting. Anyway, it's not really an excuse to upgrade computers yet. But, I only got this one last year, just before Christmas.
An excuse
Is
to
there anyone
make
slower than
new
me in a
computer.
GT3? Yes, there is. Okay, that's good. I've got an excuse.
Yeah, the base. I agree.
What's theirs? Here we go, guys.
Here you go, guys. Have a
here we
great
go.
race.
Yeah, good luck,
Thank
have
you.
fun.
Good luck.
Oh dear lord.
Aris, you'll need about 27 litres. I've just calculated it for you.
27 liters. I think
27
it's
litres for you.
Seriously, how much do?
from how
No,
you're saying,
if
I
it's
believe
unit
it's going to be a
raised.
great first stint and troublesome second stint as usual.
Oh, there's no pit stops. Well, you might need a pit stop if you take 27 litres.
Is a pit
we
stop?
There is no pit stop set, no.
No pit stop, okay.
Just put in.
All right.
I don't know,
Yeah, just 30 minutes.
For
of-
the Mercedes guys, I need around 60 to 59 liters.
30 minutes? No.
Yeah, I've just calculated it. This thing, you know, consumes. It's like
Slow. Where's the
fuel. Give me fuel.
30
Yes,
minutes,
all the fuel.
45 litres.
45. Yeah, I need like. I might have, you know, overcalculated, but you know, after Kevin and my errors, we just prefer to go into abundance.
60 a lap? Yeah, I need 45 litres apparently. Which sounds about right for 30 minutes. I'll go 48. I don't know why. 46 seems like it's cutting it a bit fine.
Do we have a full formation lap?
No, it should be a short. Hang on, let me check the
No,
side.
it looks like
full.
I think it's
We are on
full.
the
main
Ah,
side
yeah,
It's
looks
full.
like a full, yeah.
Which is better?
It's
Full
lap,
is okay,
it?
so
Yeah.
you can
Are we
warm
on
the tires
are
a
we on
bit.
the grid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the grid, so that'll be a full
Yeah,
lap then,
yeah.
It says all drivers must run at least one stint and my name and 12 minutes of driving time left.
We'll see what happens. If it's a total clusterfuck halfway through, then don't blame me. Okay, we'll stick another couple of litres in if we're doing a full lap. We're going to need like 8. So we'll go
2
51.
liters for formation. Yeah, I'm probably overdoing.
Is this really the max driving time? 12 minutes?
No, I hope not.
Minutes or hours?
Ah,
If it is, guys, just ignore it, okay, and take the penalty on the chin. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. No one's
30
looking.
seconds.
30
It's too late
seconds.
for me to change.
Get
Too
us
late
at
for me
30
to change the
seconds.
server now. Oh shit! Quick! Quick! Press drive before I get disqualified.
Drive.
Drive!
Oh, I'm starting from pole position. Wow.
Wow.
Scary.
Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?
Good
I thought he'd
time.
be up there.
Ryan's right at the side of me.
Yeah,
Oh,
those damn
look out.
Mercedes are fast.
Look out! You know what Ryan's luck's like. Even if it's not his fault, he's going to end up spinning into you.
75.
Okay.
If we just wait, see what happens. There we go.
I know you're fast in the GT3 when there's a GT4 in your rearview mirror. On the grid.
Good night, Ivan. Take care, mate.
So I might not even survive to the end of this, so I'll leave the server running regardless.
So many Mercedes. 3 Mercedes.
I'm driving the Bentley because it's
We're so
British.
lucky that the car wasn't so fast. So fast.
Chance to wave to the fans. Right, this is the corner that kills me. Remember this.
Position you're on, Andy.
Oh, I'm propping up the grid at the back here, mate.
Yes.
Poor thing.
No.
I got a quali lap in, but it was bloody awful. I spent the rest of it talking to Aris.
So basically, I have nothing to worry about then.
No, don't worry, mate. If I torpedo you, it'll be across the grass. Yeah, I've just got to aim ahead like a few seconds. Just cut one of the big corners. I'm just going to have to look for the Lambo. What colour was it?
Blue with black.
Blue black. Yeah, you're right, mate.
Try not to aim for the black and gold McLaren.
I think I was faster in practice than I was in quali. keep left. God, my grid spot's all the way up there. Come on. Oh, there's some Ferrari collecting some dirt.
Double file.
Come on, guys, keep up. We've got. Right, I'm in my slot. I don't know where you guys are.
My crew chief just advised me to stay calm.
I still want to know where you got that accent from because mine sounds really strange. You might know that, Aris. Why do we have different crew spotters in the pit lane on the radio? We have different accents.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
My
strange.
one sounds like a European speaking English, and Gott's one sounds like a kind of an English guy, like he's from the Midlands, South Midlands or something.
Ah, he's probably using the how you call it?
Crew chief.
Crew chief, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Green light. Go, go, go.
We're going to go for
I
it.
can see
Clear on the left.
Well, we're going to sneak in there. Everyone's being nice and calm. I like this. I could have
Yeah,
had
I'm
2 spaces
first.
then. I could have had 2 paces up then. Oh, he's got... No, we'll go around the outside. Oh, on the grass.
his position.
So I did make up 2 paces and I found grass.
Yeah, not last.
It was the gold moved over and I didn't want to punt them, so I moved out of the way. And yeah, left wheel was just locked and that was it. I'm gone. I'm amazed. Probably the one race of the year that some of these guys do that the SA just doesn't matter.
Oh.
Nobody punts anyone.
Tire pressure is very low on my side, so I didn't have a look at the temperature, so I think I'm gonna have issues later with the curbs. I'm like 1 psi lower. Let's hope it will go up.
Right, get past some GT4s.
Oh, driver stint 11 minutes.
I know.
Oh no! Oh,
10
no.
minutes. Oops.
Just ignore it. Ignore
Andy!
it. It's fine. It's fine. Ignore it.
Drive through for ignorance.
I gotta drive through. I gotta drive through.
Yeah, me too.
Just ignore it. Honestly, just ignore it.
Everyone got.
Everyone will get DQ'd at the end. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Lol. Mika is laughing.
We
Actually,
should basically race to the pits now.
this is my plan. Yeah, everyone's going to ignore it because there's no point, and then they're all going to get disqualified, and I'm going to win like from 2 laps behind.
Amazing strategy.
I haven't learned the circuit, but I've still got my tactics.
on the chat they write, this is stop the count turning to real life. The problem is that now I have Ryan right at the back of me because he knows if he wants to win he has to overtake me in just 2 laps.
I have no idea where the pit entry is.
I don't either. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. Everyone's got a drive-through penalty. Honestly, just ignore it. It's pointless.
Nice strategy.
Well, we can all go into the pit entry, and you know, if we all go, it's the same for everybody.
Well done, mate. Fastest lap of the race so far.
Just looking at the penalties. Some are going in, some people are going out. Oh,
Yeah, at least we can practice the pit entry too,
Yeah.
so
Give it a stop and go.
could be worse.
Stop and go! I just got a stop and go, it's getting worse and worse.
Oh no!
Oh no, who's that? Who's that? Who's the gold? Who's the gold merc?
I think someone's sabotaging the race.
Why the DT are clearly not mine?
I've lost it. Oh, come on.
I was the only one entering the pits and I still have the DT.
Yes, something of the server configuration might be a little bit off. Might be.
So, so now we know that when it says the driver's stint length, it's not minutes, it's seconds. So
Yes.
It's not 120 minutes.
Now
it's
we know.
120
Now we know.
seconds, yeah?
Yes.
There you go, guys. It's a bit of education for you all there. If you've not used the server tool before.
What is this?
Or like don't have Spamorama configuration server.
Spamorama, yes. The mount Spamorama configuration.
We should do a Mount Panorama race.
Being given a stop and go penalty. Fastest lap of the
I don't
race.
even know that one either. I haven't driven that since, well,
I've only driven
not a
GT
lot.
for that,
Probably Gran Turismo 3, I think, was the last time I drove that enough to know it. Good bonus prize if anyone knows what year that was out.
Hey Leonard, this is a this is a particular race. It's actually whoever gets the most penalties wins practically.
Ooh, and then we can take corners very fast.
Oh, oh my god.
Bentley Ponterino.
Dude!
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Watch out the hairpin, guys.
That ZT4 there, that Zinetta was a little bit angry. Thank you.
I think someone in the red Ferrari uses his keyboard.
Excellent.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Thanks, Samuel, mate.
Car on the right. We have a stop and go penalty.
Yes, I know. I know we have a stop and go penalty. Everybody has. I don't know if you noticed, Gergo, but everybody has a stop and go penalty.
It's a software bug, it's fine.
It's the game. Lazy devs.
You need to patch it.
Hot fix tomorrow.
Oh, we have slow cars. That's what I like.
Is damage off?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Damage is on.
Penalties
Because,
are on, for sure.
I got quite a punt and still have no repair time.
There may be a
Are they
service
selected?
setting.
Are they selected on the MFD? Because if you don't select it, you cannot see the damage.
Yeah. Also, it may be that the server settings have a maximum time for the
Damn, what am I doing?
Yeah, maybe wait, for the back straight.
Isn't that because we got penalties and we can't see anything before we clear them?
No.
Maybe.
Great.
Ah,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. Wow. I mean, big brains here.
But I do think
I didn't even know that.
Are you a
I do
dev?
think there is a server setting for a maximum hit time as well.
Are you a dev in disguise, in incognito?
Maybe.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That GT3 was lucky. That Jesus.
Oh, I'm watching. And I'm disqualified. I'm disqualified.
No.
Everybody's disqualified. Yeah.
What a race. What a race.
And on that bombshell,
Oh
Going
my
in the pit.
god.
So you got disqualified for not pitting.
Well,
can we still go out?
I mean, we got all the penalties that you can imagine into this game, so.
No, what a joke.
That's my pit.
Now,
box.
the
Get out
most
of it.
the funniest thing was that right from the first lap we got the drive-through penalty. You couldn't even if you wanted to do a drive-in and a stint every 10 minutes, you just couldn't.
Oh no, things we're going to get another one as soon as we go out, aren't we? Because there's going to be another driver stint.
Yeah, but
Is it going to give us?
I don't know.
Or maybe because we've served this one. That's I don't
No,
know.
I don't think. I think it's badly configured, so it's just a big
I
mess.
haven't even got another drive through it.
This is my
Yeah, I'm
third
gonna win
stop
this
and
race! Yeah!
go. Blame Gergo.
I'm gonna win!
Actually, Mr.
No,
Deutsch
I'm
had
gonna
the
win.
Let's scrap that.
I can reset the server if you want, guys.
I don't know if I can go back to the garage. Yes, and then go drive again. And then
I'm just doing
wait.
it. 2 minutes. Yes.
Yes, 2 minutes, controls locked, and then I can drive again.
Fully.
So maybe I can do this.
I can reset
Hi,
the server
Rudy.
if you want and remove the stint if you guys want a proper race.
No, it's okay. It's late. It's almost 1 o'clock in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was really fun. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah,
I
that
was
was something
laughing.
different
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Look, guys.
It wasn't bad.
On the chat vortex says ACC Battle Royale confirmed. So yeah, that's an idea.
Half an hour practice for like 10 minutes racing.
2 minutes according to
You
the stint.
you practice the start. It's important. We had no accidents at the start.
That's actually nice.
Is this race gonna be the parts of too long didn't watch?
Yes.
Because they want your
Yes.
videos.
Yeah. Probably this is gonna be too short. Watch it all, something like that.
Oh, I'm gonna cut the last grenade. Too late, didn't break.
Yes, we could do that. I'm just curious to see if I can start when the controls get unlocked.
I think someone already posted on chat that you can't even move after the counter.
All right, let's see. Dillon didn't know how to configure the server.
Within 3 laps.
How to server settings. you know, Andy, that you're gonna end up in some special role
Hall of
into the
Fame.
Discord channel. You
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
That'd be the,
Nope, nothing.
Nope, I cannot go on. No, nothing. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, our tonight race.
Oh no.
And on that bombshell,
Anyway, all right. So, okay. So, guys, I'm exiting from here to say hi to everybody in the chat on the live stream,
Okay, mate.
and then maybe I will join you again.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so
No,
much.
thanks, Aris.
cheers,
Thank you
everybody.
too, what's fun.
Take care.
All right, so that was it for tonight. I hope you found the circuit walk interesting at the first half of the race, and probably even more interesting, or at least laughable, our attempt to do a race after that. You have to excuse Andy. The guy is still, exploring. This is his own personal server. He was trying to find some testers this afternoon to test the server, and he was so kind for us to give us a server to have some fun. Unfortunately, the server was a little bit strangely, let's say, configured for the stint length of the drivers. So we instantly, everybody got drive-through penalties, and then the stop-and-go penalties, and then eventually everybody got disqualified. But I think it was fun, right? So thank you so much for joining. And yes, as CC Driver says, this stream reflected the mood in the Discord server very authentically. This is what happens every day in the Discord server. And right, so yeah, so thank you so much. Now, next live streams programs. There is a special race happening in Assetto Corsa 1 next week. I've been invited. It's a pretty big Italian event. I'm not sure if I will be able to stream it because they ask also to have a Zoom stream because they want to show it into the Sky TV here and so on. More details in the next days. I will let you know, guys. But still, I don't know what is going to happen. So don't expect much, and we'll see. Otherwise, you're going to find the circuit walk edit from this live stream, much shorter edit, in the channel as usual, tomorrow or after tomorrow, and then the usual shortcuts here and there. So, thanks again for joining. Hope you had fun, and see you on the next live stream. Goodbye!